that everybody wants to see what can Malik Willis do beyond running the football. And I want you all to know that that is important, right? Like, we all know that that's important. You have to see what somebody can do as a passer as well as being a runner. That's what makes them an effective dual threat quarterback. But we have to go through what makes him a special runner. The burst right at the handoff, right there. And then the power, the leg drive to kind of get upfield. Athleticism, the acceleration right at the snap to explode, get around the edge. And then the functional strength to withstand the DB's lower body tackle, shake it off, and continue upfield for a first down. Agility, elusivity, all of that is on display with Malik Willis. Play action fake, but pressure is in his face immediately with this one. So compared to the last one where he could have thrown a ball, an easier throw to make on an out route, right? This one, he's facing pressure immediately in the backfield. He has no opportunity to really see the field. So he escapes and is able to see the middle of the field, number 7, wide open. So when you're facing a cover 2 look, you only have a few areas of that zone in which you can hit. And especially behind the cornerbacks and in front of the safeties, there's a hole that you have to hit. And Willis is already in his throwing motion. If you look in the pocket, he has the awareness to know what defense they're in, but also knows that he has a small window to make this throw happen. So what do you get? Boom. Can he see the field? Can he process well? Can he work beyond his first read? And here you'll see a good example of it, right? And that's why you have this angle. Starts middle, goes right, navigates, looks left, finds number 2 over the center, has the arm strength to deliver the ball. He takes a big hit, pass is completed for a first down. What's going on, y'all? This is Jamal, your host of the Trap or Die podcast, and I'm just here to tell you, man, why you're here. If you're new, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you follow us, man, as we continue to push out this content and create some things for the Washington Commanders and the NFL, man. But mainly the Commanders. This is a Washington channel. I want everybody to be involved. I want everybody to catch these live streams weekly. I want everybody to be a part of this growth that we got going on over here, man. So if you're here, if you're new, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you stay tuned, man, for much more content, fire content, and as we keep things pushing, man. So yeah, get to it. We appreciate it. All that good stuff. Peace. What's going on, y'all? This is Jamal, your host of the Trap or Die podcast. And on this video, we're going to break down Malik Willis. I looked at 5 games of his 2021 season, and I've got quite a few takeaways from Willis and his performances, his strengths, weaknesses, what he can and can't do right now, what he can do and succeed on the next level, on the NFL level, and then what he'll struggle with as immediately as he comes out, and some things that's going to take some time to fine tune of sorts. But before we get started, look, socials, you can find me on Twitter mainly at Let Maul Tell It. It's right there in the name description. And also, you can find the Trap or Dive podcast on all podcast platforms. You can find Trap or Dive, obviously, on the YouTube. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit the like button because there will be more content coming out just like this. And on Twitch, where exclusive content will go once we are able to secure some of those things. We've had a couple exclusive things on Twitch already. But Twitch is in the description. Make sure you go to the About section as well. You'll find the Twitch link there. So make sure you follow over there as well. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get into some Malik Willis. Let's see what's going on. All right, so I know that everybody wants to see what can Malik Willis do beyond running the football. And I want you all to know that that is important, right? Like, we all know that that's important. You have to see what somebody can do as a passer as well as being a runner. That's what makes them an effective dual threat quarterback. But we have to go through what makes him a special runner, right? What makes him a special runner from a design standpoint, but also from a playmaking standpoint. And we're going to go through some of the design runs at first, So you can kind of get a picture of who Malik Willis is from a rusher when the play is actually called for him to rush the football. And you see in certain situations, third and shorts, second and shorts, goal line, red zone, how effective he can be when they keep the ball in his hands. And on the NFL level, how teams will kind of utilize him early on and make him one of the most effective quarterbacks in the run game. We're going to go ahead and start this off because I'm sure as I was talking, you probably missed this part, right? You'll see at the snap. Again, this is a third and short situation, I believe, if not second and short against Syracuse Orange, September of 2021. You'll see the burst right at the handoff, right there. And then the power of the leg drive to kind of get upfield and get the necessary yards. I believe that was 2 yards to go. He ends up picking up 5, if my math is right. 4 or 5 yards, right? First down conversion. Same thing here. Again, red zone, right? Speed option, just a true speed option route or play design. And you kind of see the hole opening up on his inside right there. The defensive back or linebacker committed and showed that he was chasing the running back. He ultimately ends up splitting the quarterback and the running back, so it makes it an easier choice for Willis to cut in. And obviously that's a display to his vision and also just being able to have that natural ability as a running back or a runner in general. All right, so here we go again, back to Syracuse. More situations in which down and distance kind of predicated the need for him to run the football, and Liberty definitely utilized him a lot in short down and distance situations, anywhere within 5 yards of the first down marker or the end zone. You kind of see that a lot from Malik Willis. Decision making, play strength is all here on display. Let's go ahead and rewind it back a little bit so you can kind of see it. But you see also his athleticism, the acceleration right at the snap to explode, get around the edge, and then the functional strength to withstand the DB's lower body tackle, shake it off, and continue upfield for a first down. You see the first down marker to the left. It's a true speed option. You see the sticks right upfield where the referee is at the top of the screen, and all you need is a couple yards, right? And Malik Willis is able to get that for you. Let's go ahead and rewind it back. Rewind it back a little bit more, and you kind of see, again, breaking tackles. That's going to be a theme here as he's running the football. He's not an easy person to bring down, and this is actually the play that kind of illustrates that in its most impressive way of sorts. And for Willis, this play didn't really gain any yards, and this wasn't a play that really gained them a first down either. But you see his strength, his lower body strength, but also what it takes to kind of bring him down. Again, he gains no yards, but look at all the number of bodies that's on Malik Willis right now and how long it took for them to bring him down. Again, the vision, the agility, the lateral agility, the acceleration that makes him elite is top tier. Like, that's what makes him a great running threat for any offense that wants to bring him in. Again, same thing here. Now, this one is actually snuffed out, but Malik Willis is a playmaker, and that's one of the ones that exudes his playmaking ability. That's the one that kind of brings things out. He has a knack for the end zone, right? So he'll be able to find the end zone if you put him down there in the red zone situations. That's just what he does. He'll convert for you. You don't have to worry about what fade route are we going to throw at the 5-yard line for Washington fans. You kind of know that, right? Shout out to Jay Gruden. You don't have to worry about what fade route you're going to run. You don't have to worry about, what tight window throw he's going to have to throw from. If you can just run the ball, use your 11 to make the defense kind of wonder where the ball is going to go. Here, Malik Willis. Now, let's rewind it because, while we're showing his run strengths, right? He had some good awareness and mental processing on display right here. There's a free edge rusher at the top of the screen on the the right offensive tackle's right side. He's a free man. They're showing Syracuse is I think that's 1, 2, 3, 4, showing 6. So there's going to be a free man on a spread set with 5 blockers, and Malik Willis knows that. So at the snap, free man, right side, blind side. Look where Malik Willis's helmet is looking. He's looking to his left, but senses it. He's about to take off, breaks the tackle, and now we see the playmaking ability from Malik Willis. And the wherewithal to go down knowing that he's stumbling already anyway. So that's that. Another thing, another play, and I'm going to let him run after this. But again, agility, elusivity, all of that is on this play with Malik Willis. So I'm going to go ahead and let this run out, and you'll see some of the same things in different situations, in different contexts in which he's faced with a scenario. It's a hard man to bring down. Look at all the tackles that he just broke right there. Didn't score, but he broke at least 5 tackles. So overall, I mean, when you think about it, as a rusher, Willis's decision making and vision is elite. I mean, when needed to set up his blocking, as you all saw, he displayed the patience and acceleration and explosion to pick up the yards in short down and distance situations. His strong frame. Shout out to the Flames, but strong frame allowed him to withstand it from defenders of all sizes, and he also has the balance and lower body strength to shed multiple tackles on a given run. I mean, he fights for every yard as a rusher, and naturally has an elite competitive trait, which is something that you can only ask for. Like, it's Tom Brady level in terms of competition, competitive nature. So you can only ask for that when you're dealing with a player like Malik Willis. Does he have the drive and that mindset to try and win at all costs? And that is good for Malik Willis. It can get him in trouble sometimes, which we will dive into, but overall, that is something that you can only ask for from your quarterbacks, especially your rookies. Do they have that competitive nature? Do they want to be great? And Malik Willis, through his play, wants to be great. But we're going to go ahead and go through his extend the playability, but then turn into his accuracy on all levels of the field and his arm strength. So here, just what you get when you get a Malik Willis. He's processing. You can see him scanning the field as well, by the way, going through progressions. He makes a play downfield. I'm going to slow that up just a little bit so we can all see it again. So at this snap, obviously, as you can see, he's working through his progression, starts left. Now, he could have thrown this ball if he wanted to, and that's part of the processing issues that you'll kind of see when we get to that part. He could have thrown that out route if he wanted to. He chose against it. Still settling in the pocket. He's working his progressions. Now, some would say that the way he's looking now, you have the middle of the field, a guy coming across on a dig. Yes, with his arm strength, he can easily make this throw if he saw it earlier. But at this point, assuming that the linebacker in the middle of the field, and obviously, I think that's a DB to the middle, the top middle. You kind of assume that they're going to crash a little bit on that window because he didn't see it as early on. So let's kind of see how it plays out. They don't. So he doesn't. He kind of backs up. And this, the top middle kind of backs up. And then the linebacker in the center of the field, nearest to the ref, crashes down. So it kind of assumes that he's either in a spy situation and he's chasing the quarterback, which he is. But in that same vein, he's keeping his eyes downfield. So while he had options, right, he's keeping his eyes downfield. You see number 4 at the bottom left of the screen, raising his hands that he's open. Malik has the arm strength to just naturally get it down there. It could have been more accurate, but he has the natural arm strength to get it down there, and it ends up being a completed ball as his receiver makes a play for him. Another situation is again North Texas. play action fake, but pressure is in his face immediately with this one. So compared to the last one where he could have thrown a ball, an easier throw to make on an out route, right? This one, he's facing pressure immediately in the backfield. He has no opportunity to really see the field. So he escapes and is able to see the middle of the field, number 7 wide open. Big playability through Malik Willis's escapability from the pocket, but also him being able to keep his eyes downfield in a situation like this. Here's another angle of it that's a little bit more. Oh, that's the other play. It looked similar, didn't it? But yes, another situation in which he faced pressure immediately. Let's go ahead and go back to it. It's a slide protection up front, but amongst the slide protection, 65 in his help with his right tackle relies too much trust, or there was a trust breakdown or communication breakdown between all three, center, guard, tackle situation here. So 93 ends up coming free. Malik Willis doesn't have time, but look at the strength to keep the play alive. Sheds the defensive tackle like it's nothing, like he's a PB player in football. Able to get around both of them. At the last second, spots the guy on the edge. Now, it is debatable on whether or not you want to you want to say that this pass will get completed in the NFL, but it gets completed here. And you get a first down as a result. So his playmaking ability, as you all see, is something that's there. It's something that will be appreciated on the next level because there's going to be plays in the NFL where the defense wins. But what happens after the defense wins? Is the play over? Or does Malik Willis or your quarterback or whoever, or your running back, if there's a running play, does somebody have the capability to make something out of nothing? At times you see that with Malik Willis. He can make something out of nothing. So now let's go ahead and transition to the passing game. And this is something, before we even get to the passing plays, right? It's important to kind of notice or understand the context behind the player that you're watching. And I understand that some people don't want to deal with context. They just want to get the information as quickly as possible, or even just get the information from somebody else, right? And that's perfectly fine. But I think what's most important here is understanding, again, the player that you're dealing with, the environment, and also the scheme that they're playing within. And for us, when we look at Malik Willis, and I should have said this in the beginning of the video, you're dealing with a quarterback who played under Hugh Freeze, his head coach at Liberty, and Kent Austin, his offensive coordinator at Liberty. Now, Hugh Freeze is a run-pass option-based offense. So he's relying upon the decision-making of the quarterback, but also their ability to run that offense to the best of their abilities through their judgment, their processing, and things to that regard. So he has the power to run it on a given play. He has the power to pass it on a given play. And obviously, he has an option to hand it off to the running back. So if he sees something in a spread formation and he feels like he can just run a quarterback draw to that degree, he has the power to do that. If he feels like in a 3-by-1 formation where it's 3 receivers to one side, a tight end to the other, or a receiver to the other, he has the power to do something like that as well. So to the power to run it. There's also a lot of bubble screens involved where the receiver can kind of just wait at the line of scrimmage for a quick handoff, a quick pass from the quarterback and have the receivers block. There's a lot of varieties within this offense that I'm not even explaining in its entirety to you all, but you kind of understand that Willis has an option on certain plays to kind of, on most plays really, to kind of make those decisions. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get back to the film and see what we're looking at, right? So another thing that kind of is an elite trait of Malik Willis that stands out is his arm strength. He has NFL arm strength. He has elite arm strength. And it's quite incredible to see it just on a given day and just seeing how far he can really launch the ball, but also how controlled he can be because he doesn't necessarily always overthrow his passes. But we'll work on that when the issues part come around. So go ahead and run through these plays. Again, free play offsides. So he knows that he's just going to target and give his receiver a shot on the sideline. But not only does he give his receiver a shot on the sideline, it's one of the better throws that you can make from a fade perspective, right? You see the separation at the top of the screen where the receiver from Liberty is already a half a yard ahead of the defender, but also Malik Willis is able to complete an accurate ball to the receiver for a touchdown. Now, when we talk about accuracy, it's not just can he throw the ball to the spot, right? It's also other things that it entails. Like, can you hit your target short? Can you hit your target medium? Can you hit your target deep? I mean, can you hit your target without the receiver doing additional work? Can they catch the ball in stride? Is the ball even catchable? Like, can they put touch on the ball when it's needed? Can they lead a receiver on the deep ball? Do they have the ability to put velocity behind the ball? Are they within timing of the offense? Can they do all of these things that encapsulates what an accurate ball is? And for Malik Willis, you see the accuracy on most downs. It's the processing that is an issue with him at times. So we're going to go ahead and run through these plays again. Again, that was a fade. You'll have another situation right here where your receiver on the top of the screen is running an out and up. Already has this guy beat. If you see that on the top of the screen, on the out and up, number 3 is already separated because 20 committed to the out. He bit. But also, if you look at number 7, Malik Willis, obviously, he's ready to throw. He has a good form, good mechanics is going to come out of this. And he's able to seamlessly and smoothly place the ball downfield on, what is that? A 35-yard throw. Let's go ahead and run it again. Catchable ball in stride, and his receiver makes no effort except for to put his hands up, catch the ball, end zone, touchdown. Here, same thing. Catchable ball. The difficulty of this throw is something that needs to be taken into account as well. I'm going to go ahead and there we go. All right. The difficulty of this pass should be taken into account as well. So what Malik Willis is facing right here is a display of his mental processing and how good it was for Malik Willis, right? Now, we're talking about just how he makes the throw, but you have to understand what else that goes into it. So when you're facing a cover 2 look, you only have a few areas of that zone in which you can hit. And especially behind the cornerbacks and in front of the safeties, there's a hole that you have to hit. People call this the honey hole, and essentially all that means is the soft area of the zone coverage. And the soft area of the zone coverage is literally at that 30-yard marker between the 30 and the 35. And Willis is already in his throwing motion. If you look in the pocket, he has the awareness to know what defense they're in, but also knows that he has a small window to make this throw happen. So what do you get? Boom. The ball is caught at the 36 over the corner under the safety. The safety is late and he's unable to recover and make a play on that ball. So that's kind of the recognition that you get from a playmaking standpoint and processing standpoint from Malik Willis. He has the ability to kind of understand the areas, the zone coverage areas, but also has the touch at times to make and velocity, to be honest with you, because you have to get it there at a certain time. So you saw kind of where the ball was delivered, and you saw that he made an opportunity for his receiver to make a play on the ball and extend the drive, and that's exactly what he did. A throw from the 30-yard line of the right hash. And if you can see, he's already challenging the cornerback. It's not the safety that he's challenging. It's the cornerback that he's challenging. The cornerback has his back towards the receiver. He doesn't know the receiver is going to go, but he does have eyes on the quarterback and the guy breaking out to the sideline, right? So what does that do? That conflicts the cornerback, and Malik Willis knows that. He's already about to let it rip because the cornerback has no way to recover if his back is already committed to the sideline and Malik Willis is already in his throwing motion. The cornerback has no really way to recover. So it comes down to the receiver, and it comes down to number 14, who is the safety at the top of the screen as well. Malik Willis threw a ball that was so good, the receiver didn't even know it was coming. So Again, when we talk about honey holes, that's it. That's the window right there. The 50 and the 45-yard line. That's kind of where the ball needs to go. Malik Willis delivers it. 14 thinks that he's going upfield. The safety thinks that he's continuing to go upfield, but Malik Willis throws a ball that kind of prevents that from happening. Pass is completed. First down is gained, and the sticks in the drive continue. Another example, out and up. Beautiful throw. Play goes for 70. I'm not sure if I show it the whole play on here. I don't think I do. Oh, I do. Okay, but let's go back to the point, right? Let's go back to the makings of this throw. When you talk about arm strength and you talk about accuracy, that's what this is. All right, so you're down inside the 10. You're making this throw from the opposite hash to the far end of the sideline. So the right hash mark, and it's essentially like a 27-yard throw, and it's in its sum on its surface 27 yards. But when you take into account the width of the field that you have to make that throw and how far out you have to get it out there to lead him, I'm not a math expert. I can't tell you how many yards is on top of the 27 yards, but it's way more than a 27-yard throw, which would 27 air yards, right? So it's way further than that. And you're seeing the accuracy in multiple levels, mainly deep right now, right? But you see the arm strength and the touch that he has downfield. His ball mechanics are fine. His release is fine. His release is pretty good. It's a quick release. And then we'll go to this one as well against Ole Miss. Downfield, I think this was actually incomplete, if not pass interference on the receiver. But you see where the ball placement is. You see he gave his opportunity to the receiver, a catchable pass. Let's go ahead and go back. Now, if you're noticing, where is he throwing the ball from? He's throwing the ball from his left hash, far sideline again on a stop and go. Catchable pass, 11 has to be like 6'3", 6'4". I'm not entirely sure who he is, honestly speaking, right? Because I'm here to look at Malik. But down to the 10-yard line on that throw alone. Again, display of arm strength, display of accuracy to get that ball there, and the velocity behind it. All of that stuff is important when you talk about Malik Willis and his capabilities on the next level and making certain throws. Same thing here. Touch. Let's go ahead and rewind it back so you can see him from the pocket and not just the completion itself. And also another thing that you all are noticing, and I'm sure that you've picked up on, and I hope you've picked up on, if you're concerned with Malik Willis was about his ability to throw from the pocket, he'll do just fine. He's comfortable throwing from the pocket. He's comfortable making multiple throws in different angles and different throw points, excuse me. And right now you see the base is perfectly fine. The release is good. It's comfortable. It's smooth. Look at the ball. It's not wobbling as it goes downfield. It's a spiral, and it covers enough air yards to get it to his receiver where his receiver can make a play, and his defender's back is to the ball. So the defender is only making a play to deflect it, but he has no opportunity to intercept the ball. Completion. Another one downfield. I still don't know how he got this one off, but leaning back, pressure in his face. Let's go ahead and run it back one more time. Pressure in his face, throwing from the pocket. Now he's eluding pressure right now, but still has his eyes downfield. He's willing to give his guy a shot. Leaning back, making the throw. Completion. Let's go ahead and do it one more time. Still not far back enough. All right. Pressure in his face makes the throw, gets it off downfield. That is a result of a quick release and being able to handle a defender who is grabbing or reaching for the throw arm that was just happening. So that's an impressive throw right there. And I'll just let some more things run out so you can kind of see his strengths from a passing standpoint. And right here is where we get to more examples of his accuracy, short and intermediate, right? Now, this is a curl route, but look at the arm strength. Look how fast it got there. That's power. That's throw power. That's the issues that Taylor Heineke for Washington and quarterbacks past Taylor Heineke, Colt McCoy. Unfortunately, this is what they didn't have when it came to certain throws, and you kind of had to figure out if Taylor Heineke is the guy. Well, let me show you a person who can make these throws. Let me show you a person who will excel on all levels of the field. Look how wide that throw was. That's a strong throw. You have to get there before the defender. He's already breaking on the ball, and he still can't get there. Let's go ahead and rewind it a little bit more so you can kind of see. This is a good job from the receiver from separating as well, but because he sails the fade, ends up turning into a curl. But the ball is already out. Malik is already throwing to a spot, an accurate spot. The receiver had to come back and get the ball, which is perfectly fine, and that's what they're supposed to do to prevent an interception. He's not sitting and waiting on the ball. Completion, first down marker. Here is another example of him processing, being able to work the field and show multiple progressions beyond his first read. And I think that's another thing that people are concerned with when it comes to Malik Willis. Can he see the field? Can he process well? Can he work beyond his first read? And here you'll see a good example of it, right? And that's why you have this angle. So let's go ahead back. Starts middle, goes right, navigates, looks left, finds number 2 over the center, has the arm strength to deliver the ball. He takes a big hit, pass is completed for a first down. That was 2nd and 10 against Ole Miss, where they, again, trailing like they normally were in 2021. But yes, let's go ahead and run it through clean. Let's go ahead and run it back. Now look, I'm going to pause it, break it down for you a little bit. You see him plant, step into the throw, quick release. Great velocity. Number 2 is right there for it. 35 can't get there. He's a little bit late. Another aspect in which Willis's competitive nature comes out is challenging defenders. You've seen it a couple times, right? But when it relates to his arm strength, it's a gift and a curse. And the gift part is displayed right here. A UAB situation, or a UAB game, excuse me. He's throwing a curl route again, and this time he's throwing it to a defender who's covering the receiver. However, he understands who his receiver is. It's a big body receiver. And also, the defender has his back toward the quarterback right now. So look, as you see Malik Willis in the pocket, once again, already loading up to make the throw. How does he have to get the ball there? It has to get there quick. He doesn't want the defender to have enough time to turn around, spot the ball, and make a play on the ball. The ball is out. Ball is out. Throwing motion is there. His velocity gets the ball there. His receiver is able to make a play on it with his height and extension. He puts the ball up to where his receiver can get it, and they make a play. Defender falls down, and here you go. I think it ends up being a touchdown. So he's a challenger and competitor in multiple areas of the field. It's not just running the football, right? He can challenge you with his arm. He will challenge you with his arm. Here, out route. As I mentioned earlier, right? Willis overlooked the out route that ultimately got him in trouble in the first part, right? But he ends up making a play regardless with his legs. However, he does show the capability of working an out route. But also, look at where the ball is. Turns him upfield. Could have been further outside, but he does a good job really of stopping his momentum to help his receiver out. And that's kind of where you get that play from right there. Again, accurate out route, excuse me. One of the issues with Malik, and I'll show this one more time. This is another good throw, but one of the issues with Malik, and you will come across it, I'll just say it right now too, is his actual ability to calm the pocket. You don't see that much. We don't know if he's not comfortable with it or not, but you don't see his ability to climb the pocket as often. And when he does, it's not that effective. He's done it at times, but not enough really to say that he does it well. But anyway, he climbs up on that throw, makes an accurate throw to his receiver over the middle. Another good throw from the pocket. Climbs just a little bit, right? Let's go ahead and run it back. Let's go ahead and run that thing back. So you have two receivers breaking over the middle. But the closest, I think that's the tight end. Let's go ahead and run it back just a little bit closer. All right. So the slot man and the receiver coming in motion. Slot man is just running a traditional drag route, but the slot man on motion is running a deeper slant. I don't even know the right route to call it, but basically breaking in. And Willis is able to navigate the pocket, step up, throw with power and velocity to deliver it to him. And while that was a strong throw, that probably could have took a little heat off that. It was catchable. It didn't slow his receiver down. He was able to gain the first down and then some. So these are kind of all the areas that Willis is successful in terms of a passer, right? And it is not bad. It's not a bad starting point. He's really good, or just I guess generally good and versatile in his setup quickness. He has a variety of throw releases based on situations to make the throws for multiple throw points, as I mentioned earlier, or when adjusting to pressure, as you've seen in some of these films or some of these clips. Willis also has the ability to withstand pressure in the pocket. He can display the poise to make the necessary throws to score or extend drives. Willis, one of the good things about him is he has the ability to work through progressions and locate receivers beyond his initial read, as you've shown, or as we've seen. He has solid anticipation and timing that will allow him to be successful in the NFL. He also has an elite arm strength that we've seen. Can make every prototypical NFL throw. So what does that mean? We're talking about flies, fades, curls, deep outs. He's also comfortable throwing from the pocket or opposite hash into tight windows. We've seen that on the curl route. And we also seen that on the cover 2 honey holes. He has good accuracy on all levels. He is most accurate on short and intermediate throws, and we will be able to win consistently in the NFL if asked to make these throws. From a passing standpoint, as you've seen, for his extended playability and also from the run clips, he has elite escapability, obviously due to his athletic ability. In turn, this will create playmaking opportunities for an offense when the play breaks down, and also if he needs to extend the play beyond his initial structure. All positives from Malik Willis, right? You can't ask for anything more if you're asking for a starting point for a rookie quarterback. But where does Malik struggle? And this is the part that I'm sure a lot of doubters are looking forward to, but also a lot of people who like him, they want to be what they're aware of, or they want to know what to be aware of. So let's go ahead and get to some of the things that he struggles with when it comes to Malik Willis. The biggest thing when it comes to Malik Willis is his passing ability early on. Overall, like marginal footwork in the pocket, and like I mentioned before, struggles to climb the pocket effectively. So when I mentioned that he was more successful, he will be more successful on short and intermediate throws. This is one of the deeper throws in which you kind of see some issues arise, and it starts with his footwork. He's drifting left, and he has number 2 on the left side, bottom left. He's getting ready to run a post, but Malik Willis is drifting, and you see his throwing point right here. Let's go ahead and rewind it back. It's quick, but you kind of got to see it, and it's his throw point that kind of makes this pass a little bit more difficult, because if you see a certain angle where his receiver actually gets past both of them. So what you're ideally wanting to do is have your quarterback set his feet, lead the receiver into the open space, because he successfully splits both DBs. And unfortunately, Willis isn't able to do that. He drives him upfield, and it ultimately becomes a play to be made for number 9, whether it's at a deflection or whether it's him simply actually making the play and picking the ball off. So what you want to see from Malik Willis is this throw being further to the right of the field in that open area to have his receiver go get it. He's trying to throw it with anticipation, which is what he's doing. But when you see his feet work and his ability to connect his lower body with his upper body, is not there. He rushed the throw, and it ultimately is a play that is lost. Good execution from the receiver standpoint and a good play call from the coordinator, but it hangs up there. Ball is dropped from the defender's standpoint. Here, now I want to play this through and I'm gonna run it back for you. Completion, right? Now, I mean, that's good. At the end of the day, completions are fine. But here's another thing when we talk about accuracy. Now, if you think about what I showed you and what I said earlier in the episode about what accuracy entails, there's no reason for Willis to drive the ball as hard as he did. So what you want to see from Willis in certain situations is to have touch on the ball. There's no safety back here. It's him wide open. It's his receiver that's wide open. So you don't want to see him driving the ball in certain situations. You want to see that touch from a quarterback in every ability or every situation possible where they can score touchdowns. He's driving the ball in a situation that kind of needs a little bit more air on it. So when you talk about accuracy and knowing when to put touch on the ball, Malik Willis struggles in those aspects, just knowing when to put touch on the ball. You want to see that more. You want to see him be successful in that regard, because if you're not putting touch on short and intermediate throws on the next level, just overall his effectiveness on the game will kind of decrease. Like, it's going to be hard for him to be successful when you're drilling passes like Donovan McNabb or Dwayne Haskins when it just doesn't call for it. So let's go ahead and continue. Run this back one more time. You'll see what I'm saying. Just driving it doesn't need it. You need touch. Here, you see him dancing around in the pocket, right? Let's go ahead and rewind it a little bit more. All right. So I'm still not back yet. So you have a double corner concept with the dig underneath the corner. So you mainly want to look at the bottom of your screen. You want to look at what these receivers from the slot and wide out position are doing. And then you want to take a look at Malik Willis. Let's go ahead and run it back. You got the dig coming underneath. Boom. Number 81, I believe. He ends up being open past number 7. Number 7 doesn't know where he's at just yet. But the open space is right beyond him to his left. But here's the issue back looking at Malik now. And what you'll end up seeing in some more clips as well that I'll show you is his processing ability, his internal clock, as people like to call it, right? Their internal clock in which he feels like he doesn't have enough time to make a play and see something through and see the progressions through. Let's go ahead and look at Malik now. He's at the top of his drop. And now instead of climbing the pocket or staying in the pocket a little bit longer, he's already ready to escape. And what does that do? He brings his eyes down from downfield. He's already looking to run and make a play at the line of scrimmage. Now you see him pop his head up, right? But that's not him looking downfield. Right now, Malik Willis is trying to shake the defender in front of him. So he wants the defender to make it seem like he's about to throw. Malik has no intention on throwing. That's where the spin move comes from. Holds on to the ball beyond the point of having a window to throw it. So at this point, you really want to see him throw it away. And majority of the issues that he has all comes into this play. And it's kind of funny because the drop is perfectly fine. Like, he does a really good job on his drop. Steps up, and the first thing he does is tries to escape the pocket when you want to see him stay in there a little bit longer, because that breaking in route on that dig is going to come underneath, and you want to see your young quarterbacks have that patience, have that comfortability in the pocket, and believe in the play itself before trying to make a play that isn't required of him with his legs. And then throw it away. And then throw it away. All right. So here we go. Another situation in which I think this is 3rd and 10 with Ole Miss, or 2nd and 10, excuse me. 2nd down and 10 yards. And again, if you all seen the Ole Miss game, you kind of knew that Liberty was in trouble just from an overall talent standpoint. And no disrespect for the people from Liberty. Like, I don't know, y'all. But when we talk about SEC versus independence, it's just a difference. So let's go ahead and run this play, and then we'll circle back to what happened. And you may be able to see it. All right. So you saw pressure almost instantaneously against Malik Willis. You saw the pressure. Let's go ahead and run it back a little bit further. But when we talk about awareness, mental processing, and also his competitive side, when I say competitive is a gift and a curse, this is what I mean. Like, you have to take into everything account. When it comes to Malik, he's going up against Ole Miss, SEC team. This is a big day for him. A ton of scouts at this game, and they're not that interested in Matt Corral right now. Like, they see plenty of tape of Matt Corral. They want to see how Malik Willis does against the Ole Miss Rebels. They want to see how he can perform against SEC competition. And that's part of the problem when it comes to this play right here. One thing, athletic ability is on display. He shakes the first tackle. He has the strength to continue and extend the play. He's already on the outside right now, right? And some can say that number 7 is open downfield, and Malik Willis definitely has the arm strength to get down there. But in this point, it's 2nd and 10. Think about the context. And your team is driving and they're trailing. So how do you keep a play alive? Or how do you keep a drive alive? You throw it away. And that's the thing that kind of gets him in trouble to an extent. You'll see another example right here from Malik Willis. Steps up, goes back out, still scanning the field, right? Again, when I talk about his ability to work reads and find people, he can do that. So that's not always fake. He's getting ready to throw it, but herein lies the problem. I looked at this play 1,000 times. I still don't know what he was doing. I don't know who he was throwing to. I don't know what he was thinking. But again, to the point of a dead play being involved, this is one of those dead plays and knowing when to throw away. One of the issues here, one of the main issues here, is that against Louisiana Lafayette, this was a 3rd down situation. This was 3rd and 10 inside your own 20-yard line. Again, when it comes to processing and also his competitive toughness and his competitive nature, you want to see players have that awareness to concede and save the team versus just trying to make a play, because sometimes when you're just trying to make a play as you normally do, it can get you in trouble. Making a play within a structure, and or even when a play breaking down, it what makes people elite, right? But if you're not able to understand when the play is dead, or trying to balance it, that's what gets people. That's kind of the issue, and that's kind of the flaws that some people fail to overcome. You have to try and balance it and understand when it makes sense, because you'll have some leeway if you're an elite playmaker. Malik Willis is that type of quarterback. He is a playmaker. He can do it with his arm. He can do it with his leg. But if you're not able to distinguish the fact between something being dead and trying to put your team in a situation that best benefits them, then you're going to struggle. This is something that you cannot do on the next level, and you cannot make a throw like this inside your own 20. You can't make a throw like this generally at all. Like, it's not okay. But he doesn't even see the defenders, and it should have been thrown away. Let's go ahead and run through this one. Now, it looks subtle, right? But let's go ahead and think about that Syracuse play that I showed you when he spent in the pocket. Let's go ahead and run it back just a little bit more. All right. So you'll see from the slot, or excuse me, the middle receiver, not the slot guy, not the guy closest to the tackle, but the middle guy. I think he's running a dig route, a deep dig. All right, yeah, that is him. Both of them actually ends up running a dig, and both of them end up open. So the receiver and furthest to the boundary, and then the receiver next to him, both end up running end breaking routes. It's probably a double dig, I'm not sure, but you see Malik Willis at the top getting ready to take off. To be fair, on third down, I see his need to try and make a play with his legs. However, when you talk about that internal clock and staying in the pocket to make the necessary throw, at this moment, as he's taking off, you have two breaking in routes that will ultimately be open. He has the arm strength and he has the velocity to make this throw. You need to see the anticipation and also his ability to trust the progression of the play. Like, you have to see things through, essentially. You have to see his ability, his poise, and understanding of an offense, and trusting that his guys will be there to make those throws. And Malik Willis, for his sake and the games that I've watched, his anticipation is there, is good. However, his poise and internal clock is kind of short, and that's kind of what kind of pops up in terms of issues. Can he execute an offense when it comes to third down situations, third and long situations, and things like that? Because if he's going to be playing like this on third down, in what degree can you trust him to throw the ball or even make the right read? Because at times, you've seen against Louisiana Lafayette, the play just before, he may not even be seeing things properly in certain situations, in critical situations. So he slips on this play, but you knew his intent. His intent was to take off. He wasn't getting that. Well, I'm not going to deny Malik Willis's athletic ability, right? We've seen enough in this film session already to kind of indicate he's capable of making the play. But the odds, let's put it that way, the percentage chance of him converting the first down on his legs is much less than him making the throw on the backside digs with the receivers to the top of the screen. So that's what you kind of see right there. It would have been good to see him step up. He would have brought the defenders down, as they're already doing, right? You kind of see the middle of the field, the defender right beyond the referee. He's running down to defend and make a play on Lamar Jackson. Malik Willis, the defender closest to the 30-yard line, on the top of the ref. He's just sitting there waiting on Malik Willis. Eventually, people crash down, and that's kind of what you see and why the play opens up on the backside for those digs. And unfortunately for Willis, he wasn't able to see it. And I think we had one more situation. Now, this is him processing the coverage and understanding the field vision, like understanding that part wasn't there for him in this play. But it's also something that's not too uncommon with Malik Willis at times. All right, so right here you have a bubble concept with a real route attached to it. So obviously it's a fake just to get the receiver upfield on that wheel. You see him taking off. And this is a cover 2-man look from the Ole Miss Rebels. And what Malik Willis doesn't see is that the safety in the cover 2-man look is already pushing towards the defender. Towards his receiver. Malik doesn't care. Throws it right to him. And it results in an interception. So, again, we're not taking conclusions from one play. That's just an example of the issue. And Malik does have issues at times diagnosing and understanding what he's seeing on the field. The vision is sometimes, or most times, it's adequate. I call that below average in a sense. So it's not that great. It can improve. He has been improving throughout his time at Liberty. So that is something where you don't want to box him in. You just say that it needs room to improve. And then another thing, when I talked about earlier about him making the easier throws and things like that, this is another example of that. As his receiver ultimately comes in motion, red zone situation. So we talk about third downs and his decision making, and also red zone, which is another critical situation and critical moments of games. because you have to score points, right? You have to be able to take the easier throws at times too. Now look at 81. Already open. Where's Malik's eyes? To the left. You have to understand and have the ability to quickly diagnose these coverages. He didn't even look really his way at the snap. Ole Miss is in the cover one look. So with that cover one look being existent, I'm going to let it play out. Number 5 does close on that receiver or tight end, whoever 81 is. However, that doesn't matter if the ball is out of his hands as quick as it should have been. So when you talk about a quarterback trying to make the easier throws and needing to make the easier throws at times, this is one of those things that will get in Malik Willis's way. In all, I think Willis will struggle as a passer early on. It's simple. We talked about his footwork. We talked about climbing the pocket. From a processing level, I think, like I said, he's adequate in his understanding of coverages. He will choose to scramble outside of the pocket, giving up on play progressions quickly versus letting a play develop as intended. Throwing windows, as a result, will close, and that will make things harder on Willis on the next level. I mean, he's a competitor. Willis is a competitor, but I think that the competitive nature can get him in trouble and the offense behind the sticks if the defense can successfully generate pressure. I mean, look, with Willis, he relies on his athletic ability and arm strength to get him out of trouble, to save a play or make a play instead of throwing the ball away. And that's ultimately the bottom line. Can you put away that? Can you save a drive? Can you potentially extend the drive by getting one down? So, I mean, it will show itself most in critical situations. So can he take that unnecessary sack? Or will he take that unnecessary sack or commit a turnover? So in that regard, we understand that. And when the ball is in the air, we understand that he needs to improve on his touch. On short to intermediate throws, as he moves to his next level, as I stated earlier, his effectiveness will decrease if he's unable to improve on his touch, especially in a certain level of throws, and his ability to guide or lead receivers as required. So I hope you all enjoyed that. If you all want to see more or appreciate that level of depth and conversation, look, I'm no expert. I'm driving my way to be there. But if you all like that level of depth and detail and breakdowns and opinions on these guys, these players, these quarterbacks, let me know in the comments. Also, let me know your thoughts on Malik Willis. Like, is this that guy that you can trust moving forward? My thing and my short answer is, when people say that he needs a year or that he needs time, I question that. He has elite ability already. He has very good traits that can make him a starter in the NFL in the first year. It's all about what offense can he be successful in. And I think that's the conversation that's going unnoticed. It's not about what can't he do, it's what can he do for your team. I think right now Malik Willis is a quarterback that you can win with, ultimately win because of, but he needs development in that regard. But right now you can win with him. You can win with him in a run pass offense, run pass option based offense that utilizes play action plenty, that can kind of help with the play face, that can kind of help with his ability and very good ability to run the ball. It forces defense to take into account all 11 on the field. And I think that Willis' offense and the structure that he'll play in will be a beneficial one. It won't be something that forces him to look at the field and take 5 to 7 step drops and ask him to be a processor on day one. I don't think that's something that they're going to require him to do right now. I think they'll challenge him over time, but right now it's something that he can completely be successful in. So it's all about what can he do for you now, and I believe that he can start. I believe that he'll have that opportunity when he comes into the league. I think that Washington can be that opportunity for him, among other teams as well. But I don't think that he's a guy who's going to have to sit on the bench like everybody's saying. I think that's overstated. I think it's also disrespectful to how far he's come along. Willis he's a guy who, I mean, he said it himself. He left Auburn because he needed to grow up. He lost the quarterback competition there, but he's had growth since he's left Auburn, and I think it shows itself through its play, but it also shows itself through the people that speak about him. So with that being said, I'm out of here. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and until next time, peace.